What's up, my sweet sugar bushes, bears, and britches? Welcome to another episode of Crime and Cosmetics. No! Welcome to another episode of Mukbang and Murder. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. Now, I apologize that this is coming out late. If you watch the vlog, so we're talking about Alissa Turney. For some reason, my brain kept wanting to say Allison. And I caught myself doing it a few times and corrected myself and re-recorded or reshot or whatever. But there was a portion where I didn't correct myself, and I feel like that would be disrespectful to release a video where I get her name wrong, because she deserves to have her actual name said. So I apologize this is coming out late. For that video, we ate a pizza MRE, and it's the first time I had ever ate one. But now I can't really use that footage, but I ordered another one. Gecko actually sent us a ton of, like 2 big boxes of MREs. And it only had 1 pizza MRE in it, so I had to order another pizza MRE. So we will crack this bad boy open and get started on the case. I'm going to tell you right now, this case is a wild ride. It's a relatively newer case, like the events unfolded not too long ago. You know, the justice that was brought unfolded not too long ago. And there's a ton of information on it, an absolute ton of information on it. And I'm not going to be able to cover it all. So I highly, highly suggest you check out Alissa Turney's podcast, Voices for Justice. You got to sort by date, and it'll bring you to the first handful of episodes. That's where she talks about her sister Alissa. Sarah also has a TikTok that we will talk about later in the video. So let me get this thing open. Also, on her podcast, I will link that in the description of this video. It's phenomenal. I highly recommend you check it out. There is no stone left unturned. Sarah gives you every single bit of information she knows about her sister's case directly to you, so you can follow along. Yeah, let's get this open and we will get started. Also, does Dad look tired? Do I look tired? It's because I am. I'm exhausted. I actually accidentally fell asleep in this chair before I recorded for 30 minutes, so I feel a bit fresh now. But it's been a long week. If you have been in the TikTok lives, you know that I worked a 20-hour shift Tuesday, and then I had to work on my day off Friday at 8 a.m. to noon, and I don't go to bed till like 4 or 5, so that was fun waking up at 8 a.m. So I have just been a tired being. Ever since that 20-hour shift, I have not gotten any adequate sleep. Alright, so if you don't know, MREs come in these warfighter-tested, warfighter-approved packages. And then they come in more packaging, these little plastic bags here. So you're going to have to crack this open as well. There we go. I will show you the contents we have here. I'm sure it'll be the same as the one I had last time, so... So we have a hot bev bag. We really don't use these in the military, if I'm being honest. We just use them to keep our phones dry in the field when it rains up a storm. We have our meal ready-to-eat heater. These things are hilarious to me because they give you all these complex instructions, very to the point, very scientific. And then when it gets to putting your MRE into the heater and into the little sleeve it comes with, it says to lean it against a rock or something. We got our MRE spoon. These things are pretty much indestructible. I believe there's also a confirmed kill with an MRE spoon. We have our chocolate protein powder drink. These things are delicious. Oh, this one comes with Italian breadsticks. It didn't come with that last time. So the last MRE came with crackers, vegetable crackers, and I almost lost my life eating those things. I'm pretty sure I still have that footage. I'll play you a clip, but I about damn near choked to death on those crackers. They were dry as hell, and then I just kept eating more because, you know, I guess I hate myself. It's terrible to eat crackers for a talking video. Oh, man. I'm dying. Oh, God. I'm dying. Oh, no. Oh, God. All right. We're not eating any more crackers. Oh. Okay. Oh, my God. I'm dying. Okay, no more. No more. We have our pepperoni pizza with cheese and sauce. And then we have a oatmeal chocolate chunk cookie. This is a different cookie than the one we had. The last one was just an oatmeal cookie. These things are hard as a rock. And then, please tell me yes, we have our cherry blueberry cobbler. In the field, these things are as good as gold. People will trade you the candy that comes in some MREs for these cherry blueberry cobblers. We also have cheese spread with jalapeno. Now, this cheese spread is meant for the the Italian breadsticks, but I'm not gonna use them for that. What we're gonna do is because these pizzas don't need to be heated up, the cherry blueberry cobbler is what gets heated up. So when that gets heated up, I'm gonna shove this cheese spread with jalapeno in it and heat that up and put it on our pizza, and I'll just eat these dry because they still taste pretty good. But anywho, let's get started, my sweet, sweet children. So May 17th, 2001, it's around the end of the school year. Alissa Turney was on a field trip with her class, and then after school, it wasn't uncommon for her dad to be late picking her up, so she would walk to a friend's house and he would know just to pick her up there. Well, she gets picked up from her friend's house by her father, Michael Turney. He is very frantic. He's freaking out when she gets in the car. He hands her his phone. He says, "I can't get a hold of Alissa. Try to see if you can get a hold of her." So Sarah is calling Alissa. Her phone is just ringing, goes to voicemail. Now, when they get home, they go inside. Michael tells her to go check Alissa's room to see if she's there, and he'll, I guess, going to keep calling her. So Sarah goes upstairs to Alissa's room. When she gets in, she sees that her backpack has kind of been opened and dumped all over the floor. And as Michael is calling Alissa, Sarah sees that Alissa's phone is vibrating, is in her room, and next to her phone there is a note that reads, "Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I decided I am really going to California. Sarah, you said you wanted me gone, now you have it. Dad, I took $300 from you. That's why I saved my money." Also, I apologize. At this time, Alissa is 17 years old. Sarah is her younger sister. This also takes place in Phoenix, Arizona. I forgot to put that in my notes for some reason. Now, outright, this didn't seem suspicious. See, Alissa had a aunt that lived in California, and they had, mulled around the idea of her going to live with her aunt because her and Mike just did not get along at all. Michael was actually not Alissa's real father. He adopted Alissa after Alissa's mother, who I believe Mike was married to, died of cancer. Now, according to Sarah, the way Mike treated her versus how he treated Alissa was very, very different. Also, I'm pretty sure our sweet baby boy Sean from TikTok sent me these Sour Belts, because Sour Belts are my favorite candy. One of them at least, so we might dig into those too. In a podcast interview, Sarah said that Mike was very easy breezy cover girl, really easy going with Sarah, and kind of just like give her what she wanted. "Oh, you want me to buy a beer for you and your friends? Gotcha. You want to go out and do this? Gotcha. Blah, 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 blah." Whereas Alissa, he was very, very overbearing, just very always like a helicopter parent. Like, there were times where she would leave to go to work, and he would follow her to make sure she was actually going to work. Listening to the way Sarah talks about how he treated Alissa, to me, it seems like he was just a genuine asshole to her. He would tell Sarah the reason he was so lackadaisical with how he treated Sarah was because she was a good kid. And Alissa was not. Alissa needed more guidance. So Mike calls the police and he reports Alissa as missing. He tells police that he went and picked Alissa up early from school. They went and got lunch, and then as they're on their way home, they got into a fight about Alissa wanting more freedom. And they got home. She went up to her room. Mike says he then went to run some errands and then couldn't get a hold of her. Also, it should be noted that Mikey boy, at one point in time, was a sheriff's deputy. Now, on the Crime Junkies podcast, Sarah does an interview, and she tells a story. And I believe she says her cousin was also on another podcast and told this story because her cousin was one of the ones that witnessed this. And I could not for the life of me find the name of the podcast that her cousin gave this interview on. These things are drier than the Sahara. Now, okay, so the way, if I remember the story correctly, Sarah's dad, Mike, helped cover up the attempted murder of his brother's wife. Now, apparently, Mike had been sleeping with his brother's wife, and when his brother found out, he walked into the house and shot his wife multiple times. Now, when he did this, there were a ton of children in the house. So Mike's brother calls Mike to help him cover this up. According to the cousin that witnessed this, who I believe was 12 at the time, they gathered up all the guns in the house, they placed them on a blanket in the bed of the truck, and they rolled them up in a blanket, and they had all of the kids sit on that blanket. And they told the kids, when the police show up, don't talk to them, don't say anything, because I guess, you know, the police aren't going to make these kids move or do anything after, you know, this, what they just witnessed, I guess. Well, again, Mike's brother's wife, I guess sister-in-law, she didn't die. It was an attempted murder, and not a single person was arrested or charged for it. And apparently, old Mikey boy resigned from the sheriff's department shortly after that. So we are going to heat up this. We're gonna heat up this here. Blubbery cobbler. That was weird. Why did I say it like that? But let's see. Let's get our Russian water heater started. Why do they always have the perforated lines? There we go. Okay, now it's actually working. Last one I did, it was not having a good time. So I think we're gonna put the or something. We're gonna lean this against. There's gonna be some makeup wipes I have over here. So give me a second, my sweet, sweet, lovely children. So we've got this. We're gonna put this cheese spread with jalapeno on the other side, because we're gonna get it nice and hot, so we can put it on a pizza. Excuse me. And we're gonna grab our Essentia water. It's not sponsored. It is the overachieving H2O, apparently. Now, we're not gonna fill it above these lines, and I always fill it above the lines on accident. First, let's get our pouch ready. Hey, little girl. That might need some more water. And we overfill, per usual. I'm a little concerned because it should start heating up already. Maybe this ration heater is a dud? It might be. I might have to go steal one from another MRE that I'm not going to eat the entree for. Yeah, this should be heating up by now. Alright, let me go steal an MRE heater from one of the other entrees I'm not going to eat. Like one of the vegetarian options, because this is not heating up, and it should already be heating up. So I like this chicken chunks MRE, and if we finish the MRE before we finish the story, we might break into that bad boy. I also stole a chocolate flavored First Strike bar from one of the MREs because we need the energy. All right, we got our new heater. Maybe it's because I used too cold of water. Hold on. All right, let's try this again. So let's get our heater. Rip that bad boy open. Put our cobbler in. Put our cheese spread. Let's do that. We got our water. What the heck? Oh yeah, ow, I just burnt myself. It's heating up, alright. Alright, cool. Where are we? We'll eat this First Strike bar. It just looks like a block of chocolate looking stuff. This thing doesn't look as appetizing as I remember. Look at that. Alright, So like I said, Mike calls and he reports Alissa as missing. He would later call the police again and tell them that he thinks he knows where she is, and he briefly mentions the aunt in California. Because of this, police classify Alissa as a runaway and not a missing person, and this causes them to not investigate the matter any further. She's a 17-year-old girl, who's almost an adult, who ran away. They're not going to put a lot of resources into this. But so the reason police aren't really investigating much further is because Mike told them, oh, I think I know where she went. But meanwhile, Mike is running around, saying things, telling people, I think something really bad happened to Alissa. I think she's in danger. The police aren't doing anything. I gotta be her champion, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, Mikey boy, they're not doing anything because of your dumbass. Now, Sarah, on the other hand, immediately begins looking for her sister. She creates a website shortly after her disappearance. She's putting up missing persons flyers. She even raises up enough money to get a billboard to spread awareness about Alissa's disappearance. But despite Sarah's best efforts, Alissa's case soon goes cold. And I want to reiterate, the reason Alissa got her justice is because of Sarah. She was the driving force in this. And if she ever sees this, I have so much respect for her. You are one badass woman. So in 2006, a man named Thomas Heimer, who was serving time in a Florida prison for murder, basically confesses to killing Alissa. At first, it seemed promising. He could, spot her. He picked her picture out of a lineup of photos, stuff like that. But as the investigation, into Mr. Heimer continued on, it seemed rather unlikely he had any involvement in Alissa's disappearance. And if you listen to Sarah's podcast, she talks about, because she used the Freedom of Information Act to get a bunch of details on Alissa's case. She reads off, his Heimer's interview with police, stuff like that. And I think at one point when they're like, you might, I don't think, you know who Alissa is, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I could be mixing her up with some other girl I murdered. And it's like, what? Excuse me? Why are you going around just murdering people, dog? Even though it was concluded that Heimer did not have any involvement in Alissa's disappearance, this made detectives take another look at the case, and as they're re-going over it, actually putting, some effort into it, because like I said, Mike did the whole made them think she was a runaway, so nobody really ever looked at it. They start to think that Alissa running away is highly unlikely, and they start taking a deeper dive into this case. Now suspecting foul play, the Missing Persons Unit begins investigating Alissa's disappearance. They begin speaking with individuals that were close with Alissa, and they catch wind of some allegations that Mike was sexually abusing Alissa. And because of this, they start turning their attention towards him as a suspect. They also find out that old Mikey boy, old Mikesworth, is a very paranoid man. He is so paranoid that he has security cameras around the perimeter of his property, which, isn't that big of a red flag, but he also recorded every single phone conversation coming in and out of the house. So police began talking with Mike, trying to get this footage of the security cameras as well as the phone line recordings of the day Alissa disappeared. And if I remember correctly, excuse me, Sarah talks about that, Mike would just send them screenshots from security footage, not of the day she disappeared, but of just random days where Alissa was, at home with different boys and stuff like that, which is disgusting. I mean, as he's doing this stuff, they soon find out that Mike was basically stalking Alissa. And they're requesting the footage from the day she disappeared, and Mike's like, oh yeah, I already looked through all that, there's nothing there. And police are like, no, okay, buddy, sure. But, he's telling police, oh, why do you need it, there's nothing there, blah, 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 and detectives are like, well, because it'll give us tons of information that we don't have right now. Like, what was she wearing? Did a car come pick her up when she left the house? Was she in a panic state? This, that, and the other. But again, Mike is like, no, there's nothing on there. I already took a gander. There's nothing there. And police are like, all right, you son of a bitch, we'll play the hard way. So police acquire a search warrant for old Mikey Boy's house. They find a plethora of videotape recordings, as well as phone line recordings. And like I said, when they were looking through these, they find that Mike was pretty much stalking Alissa. Like, monitoring her every move. It was creepy. So he had the camera set up around the perimeter of his house, but he also had hidden cameras in, like, the living room area and stuff like that Alissa and I think Sarah didn't know about. But as they're searching through all these, the footage and the phone line recordings of the day Alissa disappeared just so happened to not be there. And on top of these recordings, police also find something quite interesting in old Mikey Boy's house. During their search, they find 19 high-caliber rifles, 2 handmade suppressors, a van filled with gas cans, and 26 pipe bombs, or IEDs, basically. They were filled with gunpowder and roofing nails. This happened to be the largest stockpile of explosives found in Phoenix's history. And among this stockpile of guns, ammunition, and explosives, they find a 98-page manifesto titled Diary of a Madman Martyr. I believe our cobbler and our cheese spread is done. Ooh, that's hot. That's hot. Hot, 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 hot. Let me go pour this water out real quick. Damn, that's really hot. That MR heater's with the business. I just remembered I also have some Texas Roadhouse rolls, so we're gonna dig into those bad Larrys too. Alright, we got our jalapeno cheese spread and our cherry blueberry cobbler. We'll save that over there. That's piping hot. That's what I like to see. We're gonna get this cheese spread open so we can put it on our pizza. So in this manifesto, Mike basically claims that Alissa did run away, but ooh, I just spilled hot cheese on my phone. That Alissa did run away, but she was followed and kidnapped and murdered by 2 men from an electrician's union that Mike used to work for. And he says the reasoning for this was because when he worked as an electrician and was part of this union, that he was a whistleblower about like work conditions or something like that. And these 2 men had kidnapped and killed Alissa as revenge against Mike. And so in turn, Mike found them and murdered them, and he was going to take all the explosives and the stockpile of weapons and ammunition he had and bomb the electrical union's headquarters and take his own life in the process. The men that old Mikey Boy claims he killed, they were checked out and they were actually dead. But they died of natural causes. So Mike's just pants crapping crazy. You know, this doesn't look really appetizing, but honestly, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Hey, can I eat this thing on the bottom? Is that edible? Better safe than sorry. That's like this is dessert. The silica packet. Little delicious beads of oxygen deprivation. This tastes like, you know those big square Totino's pizzas? It tastes like that, just with a thicker crust. It's really not bad at all. It doesn't smell great, but it's good. So among this manifesto and these tapes and everything, they also find a bunch of letters written by Alissa where she claims to have been sexually abused by Mike. Among those as well, they also find these weird parent-child contracts that Mike wrote up and made Alissa sign, and basically stating that Mike never sexually abused her. I also remember on the podcast, Sarah tells a story about how they had a relative staying with them, and then one day he was just up and gone. And apparently she figured out that one night, I think he was an older relative, he was going to watch a movie, and he pulls out a VHS tape that says Dr. Dolittle, and when he puts it in the VCR, it wasn't Dr. Dolittle. He said that 2 very young girls were on screen and were naked and had like newspaper covering their face, and he believed one of them to be Alissa. And I don't think he knew it was Alissa at the time, but he like freaked out, shut it off, and left the next morning. And I think Sarah said she believes that was Alissa and one of Alissa's friends, and those poor girls. That's fucking heartbreaking. So later, friends as well as Alissa's boyfriend and one of her teachers would confirm hearing about these sexual abuse allegations, and I believe hearing it from Alissa herself. And if I remember hearing this correctly, that Alissa told this teacher of hers when she was 10 years old. And when I heard that for the first time, I just fucking cried, because how dare you fail that child? It is your job to protect her. It is your job to make sure she's safe if things are going well at home. And you failed. And you failed your duty as a teacher, and as a fucking adult, we're supposed to protect children. Now, let's say that Alissa made it up. You weren't sure, you didn't report it because you weren't sure if Alissa was telling the truth. Let's say you made it up. Or let's say she made it up. You still check into that. It literally can't harm looking into it. I hope you had the opportunity to possibly save this child's life, and you failed her. You absolutely failed her, and if you had intervened, Alissa might still be alive today, and I hope you carry that guilt. Like you've heard me say it before, as someone who has experienced sexual abuse as a child, it breaks my fucking heart that this girl reached out to somebody and they did fucking nothing about it. She did exactly what she was told in these scenarios. Going and talking to an adult, reaching out to somebody. And she did that, and it didn't fucking save her because that adult did not do their goddamn job. In a home movie that I'll play the clip after this, there you can see Sarah and Mike, and Sarah is operating the video camera, and Mike's like, oh, you pressed the record button, this, that, and the other. Now, at the time, Alyssa's 14, so Sarah's her younger sister. So Sarah was pretty young. And as Mike's telling Sarah how to operate the video camera, you can hear Alissa yell in the background to Sarah. She says, Sarah, Dad's a pervert. And then a bit of silence goes by, and then Mike takes the camera from Sarah and starts calling Alissa a stupid moron and stuff like that. It's fucking heartbreaking.
Hit the red button.
Why?
Hit the red button now.
I don't want to. How do I record?
Hit the red button.
Sarah! Now. I'm recording.
Sarah! Sarah! Dad's a pervert.
Yes, sir. Give me the camera now. And you're still recording. And Alissa is stupid moron.
I did not expect to blow up on TikTok overnight, so thank you. And you've been asking for a story time, so let me tell you why I'm even here. In 2001, my sister Alissa Turney went missing. She was 17 and I was 12. She was basically the only mom I ever had. But everyone thought that she just ran away, and the police didn't even look into it until 2008, 7 years later. That's when they sat me down, told me that my father had been molesting Alissa for our entire lives. They told me I had a sister I didn't know about, and that they were raiding our home right that minute, looking for evidence that he killed my sister. But they actually found 26 pipe bombs, the largest pipe bomb bust in Phoenix history. And I still didn't believe it, but eventually I came around and I said, how can I help you guys? And they said, you know what, don't worry about it, kid. When your dad gets out of prison for his bomb charges, we're gonna go ahead and arrest him for the murder of your sister. And I said, great. But that didn't happen. And then they sat me down and said, sorry, your best chance is getting media exposure. So that's what I'm trying to do. Please share this and listen to Voices for Justice about Alissa. I love you, thank you.
Sorry if the angle changed. I was had to go clear some room on the memory card. So anyways, old Mike's worth ends up getting around 10 years for all the explosives they found in his house. Now, as Mike's in jail, oh my god, this thing just fell apart. It's like eating a Nature Valley bar, dude. There's crumbs everywhere. So as Mike's in jail, they're looking into Alyssa's disappearance, and this shit is just not adding up at all. When he picked her up from school that day, Alissa went to her boyfriend as well as some of her friends and told them that she's leaving early, but she would see them later that night because they were going to have like some end of the year party, something like that. And, you know, Alissa and her boyfriend were very much close. They weren't just some like high school fling. The way Sarah describes it, they were head over heels, and it wouldn't make any sense for Alissa to just leave without saying goodbye to him. And also, in her letter, she states that she was saving her money to go to California and that she took $300 from her dad or whatever. But in the entirety of Alyssa's disappearance, she never once touched the $1,800 in her bank account. That just doesn't make any sense either. And through this, Sarah was fiercely on her dad's side. You know, she didn't believe her dad could do such a thing. He was too good of a guy. You know, she says, she has like, I think a 20-minute interview that even on her podcast, she said she can't watch it anymore because she can't believe how naive she was, but it was her dad, you know. That's family. She trusted him. And basically, she just said that anybody you talk to, you know, has nothing but nice things to say about him, couldn't believe that he, you know, not even remotely possible he could do something like that. Now, as time goes on, Sarah uses the Freedom of Information Act to gather all of the documents containing the case and everything like that, and just starts reading over it. And I believe this is when she comes to the realization that, you know, I think it's actually most definitely him. So I just realized I didn't put dates for some of these things, like when Mike was arrested, stuff like that. That was my bad. I don't know. I guess I had a brain fart or whatever. So let's just do a quick timeline recap before we continue on. So Alissa disappears May 17th, 2001. Her case goes cold until 2006, when Heimer basically says, yeah, I'm the one that killed her. Now, police investigate that. They realize he has no involvement, but they realize Alyssa's case, there's some kind of foul play going on. They hear about the allegations. They turn their attention to Mike. In 2008, his house is raided where they find all the pipe bombs, and in 2010, he's sentenced to 10 years in prison. So as you heard, we're mixing up this chocolate drink powder. So as you heard what Sarah says in the TikTok is that she was told whenever her father was released from those explosive charges, he was going to be arrested for the disappearance of Alissa. Now, her father, Mike, was released in 2017, and that didn't happen. She was basically told that the only way she can, you know, she might be able to get charges filed against Mike is if she gets enough media attention on this case. And that is exactly what she did. So in 2019, she creates her podcast, Voices for Justice. Again, please go listen to it. It covers every single base you could think of. And in May of 2020, she starts posting videos on TikTok. And they spread like wildfire. Some of you had to remember, and I remember her first couple of videos being on my For You page. So she tells an NBC interview that, believe it or not, it's become an important outlet for Alyssa's story. I've received more interest in this case from that app in the past month than in the last 10 years. This is not going away, and I'm going to make sure it never does. I still think of her as my tough older sister who taught me how to be tough. Now I need to continue to be tough and use that fight for the justice she deserves. She deserves her day in court, and I'm determined to give that to her. So like I said, it spreads like wildfire. I mean, everyone's talking about this case, and the media attention that the police and investigators told Sarah to get, she gets it tenfold. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. On August 20th of 2020, Sarah tweets out, "We did it, you guys. He's been arrested. OMG, thank you. Hashtag justice for Alissa. Never give up hope that you can get justice. It took almost 20 years, but we did it." That's right. Old Mikey boy was finally arrested and charged with second-degree murder in the case of Alyssa's disappearance. Again, Sarah, if you ever see this, like I said, I respect you so much. You are an absolute badass. And I can only imagine the inspiration you are to people out there whose friends, relatives have gone missing and their case hasn't been solved, to keep looking and keep trying. Oh my god, we forgot to eat the cherry blueberry cobbler. What's wrong with me? Let's break into that. I'm a dummy dum-dum. Hold on. Now, I don't believe Mike has been sentenced yet. And if he does, when he does, I will update the description of this video with the sentencing. You know, he's like 70 or 60. No, he's like 70 something now. So, hopefully he dies behind bars. Thank you for whoever suggested that. I very much appreciate you. That was such a good story. Cherry blueberry cobbler. It does not look appetizing, trust me. The things you find in MREs don't look appetizing, but they are. They really don't be looking appetizing, but they are, I promise. It's delicious. Like I said, good as gold. Let me finish this, and then we will pick our true crime for next week. Again, I apologize for getting this out to you guys late. That was definitely my bad. I will be better, but again, you know, I wasn't going to put something out where, even if it was only once or twice, I didn't want to put out a video where I misspoke when it comes to Alyssa's name. I don't feel like that's disrespectful. I forgot how much I like doing these mukbangs and true crime, mukbang and murder, because it's like a breath of fresh air. I always get so like nervous when I'm doing my makeup that it's not going to come out good, and this one I'm just eating, and I'm really good at that. I can do that with my eyes closed, honestly. I think we will cap this video off with a Texas Roadhouse roll. God, if you have not had a Texas Roadhouse roll, I'm sorry about you. These things are a gift from the heavens. If, you know, if the food they serve in heaven, I imagine it's just Texas Roadhouse rolls. With the old cinnamon butter, look at that. Oh, she's so good. She's so good. Right there, look at that. You just load it up. I'm so sorry for everybody that's not eating one of these right now. It was the best thing I ever had. Alrighty, let's pick our crime for next week. Hold on. Oh, boy howdy, let me tell you, I'm a full bean. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. Oh, that was not a powerful burp, unfortunately. What, baby? Oh, hush, she wants to go on the balcony. We'll go on the balcony here in a minute. Alright, come on, open, you mother trucker. The Crossbow Killer. Which one of you suggested this one? I honestly do not think I have heard of the Crossbow Killer, so this will be a very interesting one to cover. It sounds kind of effed up. But anyways, thank you so much for stopping by for another episode of Mukbang and Murder. We might do another one next week, honestly. As always, I'm trying to think, do I have anything announcements to give? Let me know if you want what case you want covered. Leave it in the comments of this video. I'll put it in our murder pot. I will also link Sarah's podcast, and I highly recommend you give that a listen. Be on the lookout for more content. If you would also like to contribute to my donation goal to get a new XLR mixer for my computer and mic, I'll leave my PayPal in the description of this video. You guys are not obligated to do any of that, but I would greatly appreciate it. I don't think I have anything else. If I remember something, I'll put it in the description of this video. But please, please, please leave suggestions in the comments of what case you want covered. We will see you next week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and having a grand old time. I always love these chats of ours. Always remember that you are loved, you are valued, your life is precious, and you are cherished. Be safe, be kind to others, be kind to yourselves. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.